When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Pocono. I'm Rick Souza, and here with my co-broadcaster, John Derudris, and thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast. We appreciate you, and this race is about to get started. Qualifying has just wrapped up. Sorry, we've been racing to get this together for you, and we're almost ready to go.
We are almost ready to go, and it's the tricky triangle. It's going to be one of the most tricky racetracks on the calendar because every corner is different. If you don't know about Pocono, well, yeah, let me tell you one thing. Every single corner is modeled after a different track, so you have to approach every corner differently. But one driver who approached it very well tonight here is Sammy Harrell. So tonight's starting order for tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series event at Pocono is this: Sammy Harrell on the pole with Charles Van Scoik there in second, Ty Bostic in third, Chris Farrell in fourth, James Lowe in fifth, Ryan Pibbin in sixth, Justin Horton in seventh with Nathan Harper, who was outside in eighth, Lilith Peters there, all the Kaiju Cat team members, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then Christopher Howell starts in P10.
In 11th, you have Aaron Jackson, 12th, Ryan D. Cook, and 13th, Chad Jones, 14th, Zach Ward, 15th, John Ledger, 16th, Jeff Nairn, Jeremy Flanagan is in 17th, Maurice Burnett in 18th, Luke Bullard in 19th, and Harley Barletta lines up in 20th.
In 21st, you have Mr. Cody Sturgill with Marco Berube to his outside in 22nd. 23rd, Philip Vandertwick with Bobby Gibson starting in 24th. In 25th position, you have Rodney Uberpacker with Brian Johnston starting to his outside in 26th. 27th, David Watts. 28th, Mike Slatker, Jeff Denny in 29th, and Christoph Hall in 30th with William Ann Jr. starting in 31st.
All right, let's get some information here about just what we're facing today. Let's hide that. We know we're all on pit road. Let's bring up our race info while the cars are gridding up.
All right, so 80 laps here at this 2.5 mile long tricky triangle of Pocono. Pit road speeds down to 40 miles an hour. No quick repairs. 5 sets of tires, 50% fuel, and 3 green-white checkers, Rick. I think this is going to be a very exciting race. I think you are going to see strategy come into play. So really quick, while we can, let's go into my 3 keys of the race. Right now, first off, you have to focus on side drafting, but side drafting effectively. That's been the name of the game here at Pocono. Side drafting has kind of gotten some drivers into some trouble. So focus on how well you side draft. Number 2, pit strategy. This is going to be a very pit strategy heavy race, specifically with the fuel numbers, which we are going to calculate and crunch there for you here once the race gets going. You have to make sure you are maximizing your fuel potential and your tire potential. And that's when point number 3 and key number 3 comes into play: track position. Track position at Pocono is absolutely monstrous. Starting up at the front is necessary. So let's see how Mr. Sammy Harold, Chuck Van Scoit, Bostic, Chris Farrell, and James Lowe do start in the top 5.
All right. Looks like we're coming to the restart. We're a little strung out, it appears.
Little strung out, and looks like the field is, yeah, they're tightening up right here. They're tightening up already, folks. Here we go. Race number 10 of the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Pocono. Green flag in the air as Sammy Harrell and Charles Van Scoik lead them down. And Rick, this is where it could get hairy. Drivers doing exactly that, going 3 wide into turn 1.
That's Lowe, James Lowe, who dived low. They were putting them 3 wide into turn 1. Not an easy way to start off this, but they survived. They made it, and now we're on the backstretch.
We are on one of the longest straights here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and this is where drafting and side drafting is going to come very much into play as they dive into the Indianapolis-style corner here in turn 2. You're going to see some 3 wide action start to form. That wall there closes up on you quick as we still have the leaders battling side by side. As we go into turn 1, Sammy dives in deep, trying to get alongside his Goat Racing diecast teammate. Here comes the 22 of Ty Bostic. He got loose. There he is, and now we got Ty Bostic splitting the gap, trying to make his way up into P3. Does successfully. 1 lap complete.
Super hard trying to charge after that corner and make it stick on the low side. He paid the price.
Sure is.
Yep. Sammy Harrell is right now back in 5th.
Yep, definitely paid the price. We got some side-by-side action there. That's Justin Horton and Lilith Peters battling for P8. As we see some bump drafting going on here at the front of the pack with the leaders of James Lowe, Chuck Van Scoik, and Ty Bostic, your top 3.
Van Scoik out in front. Chris Worrell is sitting in 2nd. Bostic 3rd. Lowe in 4th. And Sammy Harrell in 5th. Let's bring up that current grid.
We had a car wrecking out of turn 4. I think they stopped it at the pit road entry. I think that's Jeremy Flanagan. Able to keep it going. But he fell way back off the pace.
Yeah, bringing up our track map. He's the number 72. You can see it at the tail end. He's an entire corner behind the rest of the field.
And Rick, I just calculated we got about 20 to 21 laps on a tank of gas. So that is pretty confident. I used last race's fuel strategy, did some numbers on how long they ran on a 1.5 miles, which is about 35 laps. So when you do the math, add in the track length here at Pocono, you're going to get about 21 laps max, more than likely on a run. Now, we did see some drivers go a little bit longer, but last week, if I remember correctly, the runs were about 35 laps. That's correct?
Slightly less than that. I thought they were coming in sometime between 32 or 35, but some, depending on how you save fuel, you can be more aggressive with that. But I think you're right,
All
John,
right.
because this kind of is the same or similar, maybe slightly worse fuel economy than you get at a super speedway like Talladega.
Yep. So with that calculation of 33, you're looking anywhere between 19 to 21 laps. So you're still within that range there. Within, I say 19 to 21, which means you got to pit 3 times here at Pocono, or actually, obviously depending on how cautions fall, may pit more or less. And Rick, I'm noticing car on the wall. Sammy Harrell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ty Bostic looks like he's going to try to make a run on the 06 into turn 1. Decides not to.
A little bit more of a monkey see, monkey do there with that going in that wall. We've talked about it before. When you're really focused on the bumper of the car in front of you, and you continue to focus on that, if he ends up drifting up high enough to get himself into the wall, you're going to follow.
Oh yeah, you definitely will. It is very much like you said, monkey see, monkey do, because you're trying to mirror or do better than the car in front of you to get an advantage. And when that advantage goes away, it's a little bit tough.
Looks like the tandem, whether you like it or not, of Bostic and Worrell have kind of closed the gap a bit on Van Scoik. I mean, there is some drafting here that you can take advantage of for sure.
Absolutely there is.
Oh, aggressive move by the 22. This actually helps out the leader if these guys battle side by side for any stretch of time. All right, a little bit battle, a little bit farther back between Ryan Pittman and Sammy Harrell here, side by side as these guys are going into turn number 1.
Yeah, that's when side by side racing here can happen. It happens all the time, but this is where you're going to start to see these drivers get a little close and a little tight, especially right here. Oh, Pittman got a little bit loose out of turn 1. Is going to bring up the 4 right behind him. Or Sammy Harrell, that is, and a little bit of bump drafting going on. 08 still has the position. See what happens as they make their way. Yeah, 4 gets ahead of the 08 there.
39 tried to go to the outside and make that, but ends up ducking behind the 08. Both Peters back there in 9th. Christopher Howell is in 10th. Good shot there of the front stretch.
And here we go. We possibly have a pass for the lead. Chris Farrell is to the inside of the 23, right there, taking the nose, or taking the air off the rear spoiler of that 23 car. That's going to give Ty Bostic a run.
Watching the 06 there, strategically trying to find his way around. This is one of those tracks where you've got to be patient.
Oh yeah, it's almost where you got to let the race come to you a little bit, because you can easily overdrive your car at Pocono. It's one of the easiest places to do that because you're
loose.
Yep, they're sideways.
You saw the 06 waggle a bit, so you've got 9 laps in. This is not a track like Talladega or Daytona where you can take tires whenever you want. You can go almost a whole race without taking tires. Can't do that here. A lot of wear, a lot of side wear on these tires. And you're going to see fall off. These guys were, best time 53.09. Right now we're seeing times about half a second worse than that. But we're only 9
just
laps
about 10
in.
laps.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I anticipate that to get even worse on the back end for some of these guys, mainly because you see a lot of fall off Oh, 06 is a little loose. 22
22.
went a little high. Yeah.
He was dirt tracking it through that corner.
And that happens a lot. And you see that, once these tires start to go, they start to go with the different corner configurations as we see Pittman and Harrow battling side by side into turn one again. With the multiple different, corners that we have here, tire wear is all over the place, and we see some side drafting now going on between these two cars.
You're going to build up a lot of heat in these tires, and you're going to lose grip. You may not have wear, but you will lose grip. And with these corners and the speed you're entering into with these corners into, you're going to begin to just like push badly.
Oh, yeah, you see right there, the 88 got into the back of the 01, a different form of pushing here in turn 3. Oh, wow, 88 was so loose out of the corner there. You could see those guys slinging it, multiple drivers into the wall.
Why don't we go on
but
board
able
with
to
Christopher Howell and just see what he's seeing.
Let's do it. He might have an opportunity here out of exit to go low on the 39. He chose to do so. And this is where you feel like you're driving in a straight line forever. Looks like the draft is going to help him a little bit. 39 does shut the door. 88's still there.
And they are shifting multiple times through this track.
He's going to try to get a nice corner exit as the 39 dove a little bit deeper on entry. Here we go. Yep, right there you can see the 88 go to the inside of the 39. 39 is going to probably concede this position as they go into turn 1. Great job by the 88 making a pass. And there he goes.
He had to counter steer pretty heavily out of turn 3.
And we did have a pass for the lead, Rick. The 06 has gotten around the 23 of Chuck Van Scoit for the point. The 06 of Chris Farrell, not a stranger to being up at the front.
Let's go back and take a look at that.
See right there, 06 was able just to dive deep into turn 1, make it stick, and able to get the drive out of the corner to pass the 23. Gave the 23 the line, actually.
Good battle amongst these competitors for sure. All right, lap 13
Absolutely
is underway here at Pocono in the Tech4Troops Pocono 200. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Could have been a great battle up front right now between the 06 of Chris Burrell and Charles Van Scoit. Ty Bostic is up there as well as James Lowe, all battling that lead group. It's kind of distanced itself a little bit from that second pack, but they're not too far behind, with being led by Nathan Harper. We've got Sammy Harrell, who sat on the pole, and Lily Peters, who just moved up and is working her way around the 43 of Sammy Harrell.
Sure. There's the 88 alongside the 39 again. And this is one thing I love about Pocono. You can run different lines here in 1 and in turn 3. Turn 2, you have to really take it kind of the same way as everybody else. There's really only one dedicated line. But in 1 and 3, you could back up your corner to get a better exit off. You can, same thing in turn 1. I mean, it's such a unique track. It is the driver's track. I love this track so much because of the fact that you can really race your own race and make your tires wear a unique way to where you set yourself up on the back end, which is really fun to watch. And right now, there's the 07 of James Lowe going into the inside of the 22 of Ty Bostic now into turn 1. He tried to make this pass last lap, wasn't able to do it, does get it done, which now puts that 07 machine into 3rd place.
Yeah, Ty Bostic got extremely loose in that last corner out of turn 3. That gave James Lowe the opportunity to poke his nose out there and get around. Looking a bit farther back in the field again, that's Nathan Harper leading that second group with Lilith Peters. Sammy Harrell's back there, Justin Horton, Christopher Howell in the 88, and Ryan Pittman in the 08. See that group, and then going back to the group behind them starts off with Aaron Jackson, and that's Jeff Nairn. Then this group, which always seems to have some of the best battles, Ryan Cook, Chad Jones, and Luke Bullard is back there in 15th, 16th, and 17th. You got John Ledger, Maurice Burnett, Harley Barletta, and Marco Ruby in that next group. Further on back, Cody Sturgill, Christoph Hall, Brian Johnson, Rodney Uberbacker back here in 24th. And then towards the tail end of the pack, you've got Mike Slagter, Philip Van Ertwijk, Bobby Gibson, and Jeff Denis, who's back there with David Watts. Jeremy Flanagan, who had that incident early, is back in 30th, and we'll head back up front because there is a battle right now for the lead.
Absolutely, side by side, Chuck and Chris battling here. We know that 23 car is fast, same thing with the 06, but they got pit stops looming here in just a few laps, so definitely need to note that. Now let's talk about some of our biggest movers of the race. Looks like Christoph Hall up 8 positions is our biggest mover of the race, so let's see what he's able to do in that 98 machine. Looks like we have some radio communication of some drivers. Maybe some pit stops coming a little early, not really sure. Possibly somewhere mid on pack.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you got an ill-handling car, you're struggling with this track. There's the 22 of Ty Bostic actually making his way down pit road.
And there it is, the call of the race is 17 right there. Let's make it 18 for Mr. Ty Bostic, Cody Sturgill, another driver on pit road.
This is a long pit road.
It's miserable. It is absolutely miserable to get down this pit road, and it's rough as we see some of these guys making their way down. Now looking back at the front of the field, Van Scoik, Lowe, and Chris Worrell there are still battling side by side, which is definitely scrubbing off a lot of speed on their times. They are already running over a second slower than their fastest lap here, 18 laps in. Chris Worrell stays out, but James Lowe is making his way down, as well as Mr. Nathan Harper, Christopher Howell, Zach Ward, and a frenzy of other drivers. Luke Bullard, Harley Barletta, Chad Jones, to name a few. Brian Johnson as well. Bobby Gibson, David Watt.
Yep, good. We assumed that, I guess based on our calculations, you were correct. 19, 20 laps or so. We see these guys on pit road, and boom, there we are.
Rick, I told you I was good at math.
I knew. Okay, all right.
I never said typing, I said math. Typing is a different story. But yeah, 19 is the magic number here at Pocono right now. Let's see what the leader does. Yep, here come the leaders. Here comes Lilith as well, and everybody else making their way down pit road. The 06. Oh, Lilith spun. Lilith spun on pit road. She is going the wrong way.
So she got it pointed in the right direction, but you've got the entire leaders now on pit road. Jeff Denis is in. You drivers.
And Rick, do we have a penalty for driving through too many pit stalls?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Van Scoik is off. Yeah, what a great stop. I mean, that was impressive. Ryan Pittman as well. Great stop out of that camp.
Yeah, 1435 for Chuck Van Scoik. That's a huge number. Great pit stop.
Even though Chris Farrell had an 11.3, Chuck is still way out front of the 06, and that's going to put all these leaders back up to the point. Hey, look at that, a green flag stop. Wow.
What is that? But that's
new.
That definitely, clearly with that 11.35 pit stop, Chris Farrell only took right side tires.
Correct. And that is going to be, when it comes out to the scoring, I mean, he's all the way back in sixth now, 3.77 seconds back from this pack right there. So he must have had something else go on, because Van Scoik was 3 seconds slower and now 3 seconds ahead of Chris Farrell, who was battling him for the lead. So not sure really what happened there, but that's going to cycle James Lowe, Van Scoik, Bostic, Howell, and Nathan Harper, your top 5.
Everybody has pitted, although Jeff Neeney is still on pit road, and Luke Bullard and David Watts. Just guessing, by the time they spent in pit road, there may have been a speeding penalty for those guys. I'm going to check on that.
Let's see.
Any black flags for those two?
It may have been too far past. I don't see any black flags. Nothing as of yet, so it may have gone away.
Okay.
But looking at if it was possibly incidents, Lilith Peters is the only driver outside of William Mann Jr. who is not in the race to have incidents, and her incident was from that spin. So everybody else clean. Christopher Howell has 4 incident points. Again, that is probably due to Pocono. But and again, if you are not familiar with incident points, so on iRacing, you have a certain number of incidents that you can get. That is basically any contact you make with another car, the wall, if you spin out and hit the grass, if you drive through the grass, any kind of contact is judged on a 1x to a 4x scale. And oftentimes here at Pocono, you can see a lot of 1 to 2x's, specifically 2x at the exit of these corners, like right now we're about to see. Oh, and a blink.
Was there a blink there you saw?
I thought it was a blink from the 07. Looks like he got it cleared up.
Great performance so far. The 22 of Bostic. Leaders are trying to work their way around lap traffic. That's the 54 of David Watts. Lap 24 is in the books, folks. And just as we thought, admin is letting us know that both those drivers, Luke Bullard and David Watts, did have to serve a black flag penalty, assuming for speeding on pit road. Super easy to do on this track. All right, lap 24.
It is very easy to do.
Yep, sorry about that, John. Didn't mean to step on you.
No worries. No, it's like Pocono pit road is one of the toughest pit roads to get onto because of the fact this corner is so treacherous. So hate that for him, but hey, we got a battle for the lead. Side by side going into turn 1, that side drafting is pretty intense as we see Van Scoik and Lowe. Van Scoik's car looks quick, Rick.
It does, and it's it's just handling so well.
Very well, and that's what you need here. You need balance in your car, and it looks like he has been able to achieve that, even though everybody's on the same setup. Now, look at Ty Bostic there creeping in the background. Watch out for him, maybe a crossover move here from the 07. But, Rick, we got some fantastic racing going on. The field is spread out from about 36 seconds on back. 4 cars are at least 1 lap down. Luke Bullard and Jeff Nani, both 1 lap down. But great racing so far. Biggest movers of the race, we have Zach Ward in P7, Mike Sladker up 8 in 20th, as well as Christoph Hall up 7, Christopher Howell up 6.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. You won't miss anything. We'll go side by side.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech4Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech4Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans. 2024 is Tech4Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech4Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Tonight, we are at Pocono. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And tonight, like almost every Wednesday night, we welcome Mr. Jason Parker to the broadcast booth. Jason, what's happening in Tech4Troops land?
Rick, we've got so much going on right now. There's just a plethora of things I could mention, but I'm going to keep it real short. We've already brought the attention to ImmerseCon, June 22nd and 23rd. I also wanted to bring up April 28th. Yeah, it's my birthday. It's a little self-indulgent, but Tech4Troops is giving away 2 high-end gaming PCs. The first one is rocking with a 2070 GeForce card, and the high-end PC is completely VR ready with the next step up in GeForce card, and I'm just going to leave it a surprise. It's got more memory, it's got more RAM, it's got everything. But be there April 28th for our raid train that we are doing on the twitch.tv/Tech4Troops. But I got to tell you, we got to be serious for a minute. The scheme skirmish on the Speedway is why we're here. And last week I said, today is going to be the day that we're going to throw down some serious prize money. And I got to tell you, number 22, Mr. Ty Bostic, sticking right there in the top 3. I mean, he's creeping up like a creeper. Yeah, I don't even have good words. I'm just impressed by the scheme. He's doing fantastic, and he is the winner of $50 of that sweet Amazon loot.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Ty, on your $50 win of the Tech4Troops Scheme Skirmish here at Pocono. All right, that's Jason Parker with Tech4Troops announcing his winner.
Yeah, I always love having him in the booth. Very deserving paint scheme there for Ty and that win. So hopefully, maybe he can bring it home. What about that? 50. We can tell him that he's got that $50 Amazon loot waiting for him at the end of the race if he gets on the podium. So that'll be a fun combo. Right now, though, 23 out front. What a great showing for Mr. Van Scoik there. As we start to see some other movers make their way through, Zach Ward
Still big battle up front. Chuck Van Scoik battling James Lowe. Ty Bostic there. Further on back, Christopher Howells made his way up to 4th. That's +6. Chris Worrell.
Yeah, Chris Worrell is, trying to make his way back up through the field to get back up to where he was. It was a great showing for him early in the race, but that pit road issue definitely got him a little bit twisted around when it comes to the running order, so he's back in 5th.
Zach Ward is now up to 6th. He's up 8 positions. Nathan Harper behind him. Ryan Pittman. That little incident in the pits for Lilith Peters has kind of cycled her back to 12th as she's trying to work her way back up. Got Marco Berube, I think, is now on pit road. Luke Bullard is also in, so we're seeing potentially some early takers on pit road.
Yeah, a little early for my liking, though. I think it's a little too early to pit because of the fact that you're running at, let's say 19 laps, so 19:38 there, and then you would hit the pits at 67, which means you're still going to have to pit there.
Oh, while we were just taking a look, James Lowe has made his way around
Whoa.
Chuck Van Scoik. Try to see if we've got that. Well, we don't even have that in our records, in our telemetry. So there you have it. Oh, but there it is. We got it. Looks like Chuck just basically moved over and said, "Okay, go."
Yeah, and sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just need to know when the driver in front of you or behind you is the better car, and maybe he'll learn something from the 07.
Well, lap 34, you've got 80 laps. You've got plenty of time to find a different route or a different way around. No sense in, and as you can clearly see, that 07's got something, whether it's the line he's running or his approach. But he's got a little bit of a gap already starting between the second place car of Chuck Van Scoik. All right, looking further on back, I see Cody Sturgill is now on pit road. Let's go back a bit. You've got Chris Howell back here with Zach Ward and Chris Worrell. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th. Back in 7th, you've got Nathan Harper and Ryan Pittman. Back a little farther, we're kind of running in a little bit of tandem here. You got the 39 of Horton and the 43 of Harrell. Aaron Jackson's by himself. Lewis Peters is back there. She's got Jeff Nairn. Ty Bostic is now spun.
Oh.
Looks like he spun on he was trying to get on pit road, and I think he spun.
Yeah, he definitely did. We've seen that twice. Again, it's a tricky triangle and a tricky pit road. So that's 2 of the top 3 that have been affected by issues going on the pit road. You can see right there, locked it up, got a little sideways. Oh, hit the barrier. I'm surprised they didn't call a penalty, or not a penalty. They didn't call a caution.
Wow. All right, he is on pit road. And now out, 14.9 second stop. You've got James Lowe now on pit road and a number of drivers. Zach Ward and Nathan Harper.
Pit stops galore.
Yep, that cycles Chuck back up to the lead. So far, caution free here at Pocono. 37 laps, almost to the halfway point. Just to recap, we've had a number of lead changes between the 23 of Charles Van Skyke and the 07 of James Lowe. You've had Ty Bostic up there in the mix.
A lot of comers and goers this race.
Chris
Got Chris Farrell
and Ryan
Yep, or my
Pittman
bad,
are
Chris
both
Farrell.
on pit road. All right, more
Rick.
drivers on pit road for sure.
Yeah, a big group right here. You got Pittman, Jones, Naren, Uberpacker, Hall, all on pit road. And Rick, look at that, 19, exactly 19 laps from the first. Are you now impressed with my math?
I am. I'm super impressed. All right, on pit
Thank you.
roads, Van Scoik, Worrell, Horton, Harrell, and Aaron Jackson heading out. Rodney Uberpacker, Chris Hall, and Jeremy Flanagan, Bobby Gibson as well. But your leaders on pit road. Expecting a 4-tire stop for all these drivers and fuel. We'll see if the 06 at some point changes his strategy. He is already out. And there was a four tire stop. So a little gamble, I think, at the front end, but
Sometimes you got to gamble.
yeah, the good news is, okay, that was Lilith Peters. She got a chance to lead a lap and then is now on pit road. Maurice Burnett, and then that cycles the 07 of James Lowe. All right, back up front.
Yep. Back up to the front is the 07. Has a little bit bigger gap now over Chuck Van Scoik, about 1.4 seconds right now over that 23 machine. Actually, it's about 1.7 once scoring caught a little bit back up.
All right,
That moves Christopher Howell into P3, Zach Ward into P4, and Chris Farrell to P5.
Very nice. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series at Pocono. We are on lap 41 of 80. We're at the halfway point. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast on the IWM network. And John, so far, great race. We've got some great racecraft going on, good strategies, clean racing.
2 green flag stops. Yeah, I mean, everything you want. We're just now passing halfway. Just got word that Jeff Nani did have a speeding penalty, so he's on pit road getting that taken care of. But other than that, great showing here for the Tech4Troops Cup Series at Pocono.
Absolutely. So James Lowe is currently your leader. Chuck Van Scoik is in second. Chris Howell is now in third. Zach Ward is in fourth, and Chris Worrell is in fifth. What you are seeing is that little graphic up in the upper right-hand corner, that track map. And as you can see, with these 2 green flag stops, the field is spread out over the entire track.
It is, and that's where you love to see it. You really do, especially if, which I'm a big fan of strategy, track position races. I love it, and I think this is where you really see the strategy come into play. And I think all of my 3 keys have come into play today. I mean, talk about pit strategy, talk about track position. Look at your top 2 right now. James Lowe started in the top 5. Charles Van Scoik started in the top 5. Chris Worrell had an issue on pit road. Same thing with Ty Bostic, but they were all battling there in the top 5, with which leaves opportunities for drivers like Christopher Howell up 7 positions, started in 10th. Zach Ward up 10 positions, which is just darn good racing there out of that machine there. He is now in P4 right now, looking at the back doorstep of that 88 machine, potentially going into P3. So a lot of good racing here tonight.
Yeah, great battles. We're fighting them individually. So up front, James Lowe has got a bit of a gap, about a second and a half in front of the second place car of the 23 Ford of Chuck Van Scoik. Going back again, we saw that battle door to door with, he's bumper to bumper now between Chris Howell and Zach Ward. Jump back to Chris Worrell. He's battling Nathan Harper back here. That's a battle for 5th position. Further on back, you've got looks like a good battle with Ryan Pittman, Sammy Harrell, and Justin Horton. And Ty Bostic is trying to catch back up as well. He is in 10th. Looks like he's got a little bit of a crumpled left side there from that contact with those barrels, but not too bad.
No, not too bad. We didn't have to call the marshals out here. The track marshals. Sometimes somebody hits the barrels a little too hard. You gotta call on them to get over here.
Track marshals, yeah, that's it. You're right. All right, James Lowe just worked his way around. That's a lap car of Philip Vandertwick, the 48 Chevy. And this is where you're going to see that, you could use those lap cars to your advantage, right? I mean, you could, in effect, got a little of a pick strategy here, depending on how you can get out there. And there's a fairly big gap. Looking at these times, James Lowe's last lap was a 53.5, and go down to Philip Vandertwick, who just passed. His lap was a 55.07. So nearly just over a second and a half.
Absolutely.
That's a big number.
Big number. And, that's going to be a big gap going forward. Look at that. You see the 23 getting around the 48, who is a lap down. But we're going to be approaching pit stops here in about 10 laps for all of these drivers here in the top 5 to top 10. Looking at some of the guys who could go a little bit longer. Chuck Van Scoik, same thing with Chris Worrell, Sammy Harrell, and Justin Horton. Those guys possibly could go a little bit longer, 1 to 2 laps longer than drivers like James Lowe, who pit on 36, Zach Ward, who pit on 36, Nathan Harper, who pit on 36. And with the math and how this is working, Rick, you are going to have to pit with like 5 to go, 4 or 5 to go. It's going to happen. So we'll see what happens.
Lilith Peters pitted last on lap 39.
Oh, got loosed. Hit the grass. Maurice Burnett there in the cat
Yep.
number 8.
Yep. Just 9 laps or so to our next round of pit stops, and we'll probably expect to see some of these drivers in early because it's just hard. Their driving styles are what can make you or break you here at Pocono. So the gap is closing up a little bit with our second place driver of Chuck Van Scoik. Shaved off a couple tenths. Trying to chase down the 07 of James Lowe.
Yeah, right now that gap has slowly, gone down, Rick. It was the 1.7 seconds when we got out of that last green flag stop, and now we are down to 1.1. So this gap is slowly closing.
Yep, just looking at last times, James Lowe is a 53.77. Chuck Van Scoik, 53.63, so another tenth shaved off. We can change our gaps to last time so we can get some more data. That way the viewer can actually see our lap times. That's the data that we're seeing. See Chris Worrell, 53.370. That's nearly 3.5 tenths faster than the leaders.
Right.
But he's in a spot, he's going to get around the 88 of Christopher Howell. Of course, that's the 48 up high. That's Phil Vandertwick. Those cars lined up right like that. That can actually help them try to gain on these leaders.
Absolutely. And we'll see how that plays out. Just looking at the board, Worrell fast. Same thing with Van Scoik. I mean, you can see the lap times right there. Those couple laps make a difference.
All right, we're going to take another full commercial. We'll be right back.
Welcome to ImmerseCon, where the future of gaming and technology comes to life. At the cutting edge of innovation, ImmerseCon blends the realms of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, with gaming. It's a pulsating hub where diverse minds, from casual gamers to industry mavens, converge in a dynamic, groundbreaking setting. ImmerseCon is dedicated to transcending the typical convention experience. Here, every moment is an adventure, every interaction an opportunity to learn, play, and innovate. Join us in this unique journey where the wonders of STEM fuse with gaming, creating an immersive, unforgettable experience for all.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series broadcast. Pocono 200 here on the IWM Broadcast Network. We are at lap 52, just 28 laps to go. Jumping ahead here, trying to make it go faster. James Lowe continues to bring us and show the lead, but Chuck Van Scoik has caught up. He has, now that gap is 6 tenths.
Yeah,
I hazard to say that I think it was because of the challenge of getting around the 00 of Brian Johnson.
Yeah, it's tough when you have green flag runs that are, over half the race, almost approaching 75% of the race done. You're going to deal with lap cars, and that's what's going to affect how you are driving and how you have to change the way that you're line. One corner can really set you back, and that's what we see now out of the 07.
The 23 is a little loose coming out of that corner. And now he's still dealing with getting around the 00, Brian Johnson. He really needed to get by the 00 to have any shot at closing that gap.
He did.
To his credit, that 00 did race him hard, but again cleanly. So here we are, lap 54, and we should start seeing our next round of pit stops. 36, about 57, just next few laps, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
All right, as John had indicated earlier, the math does not work. So if they're probably going to try and stretch this out as much as they can. There's the 07. He is going down pit road for his stop. But what we do now, if we're saying is 19 laps you can get out of a tank with 26 laps to go. Clearly there's a 7-lap delta there. A few drivers trying to get out as much as they can. Chuck pitted last on lap 38, so he's trying to grab an extra lap or two. But they're still going to need to stop unless something happens where we don't. But if it runs green all the way, we'll probably see what you'll see some guys short pitting.
Oh yeah,
probably.
I like to split. I split it right in half. Go 12 and 13 or 13-12.
Or maybe I think my concern would be if it was me, if I had to make a decision, I probably would wait until lap 10, only because and put in enough fuel so that if you do have a caution flag or a green-white checker, you have enough, because this is not like a half-mile dirt track or a half-mile track or even a mile-and-a-half track. You've got to keep some fuel. This is a 2.5-mile track, and you will burn fuel just pacing.
That is correct. I do like that as well, and we're about to see. Here comes the leader down pit road.
Also, you've got Christopher Howell on pit road as well. Number of drivers coming off. That's Barletta and Naren. Your leader, Chuck Van Scoik, coming down, and we'll watch what his stop. We're assuming it's going to be fuel and 4 tires.
Fuel on 4 tires makes a lot of sense.
Gets off before Johnson comes out. That has cycled Chris Worrell up to the lead. So there's your new leader right now, the 06 of Chris Worrell. And now he's making his way onto pit road, as is the 43 of Sammy Harrell. So we're now watching the 01 of Lilith Peters. As she takes over the lead here. She's got the teammate of the 39 of Justin Horton behind her. Both with Kaiju Cat Motorsports. Was it last week that was not kind to Lilith? Was it last week, John?
I want to say yes. That sounds about right. And also we have a pass going on right now. The 23 and the 07 side by side going into turn 2. 23 lets the 07 go with 23 to go.
Yeah, last week, this league, we were at Iowa Speedway. Really, it was a fun track, but very slippery.
Very slippery. Yeah, the turn 4 monster definitely had its pickings last week.
Yeah, it was feasting. It was feasting.
See Ryan Cook down pit road.
All right, Lilith Peters continues to lead. Expecting to see her down shortly. She pitted last on 39. She's kind of stretching it out.
She definitely is.
Let's kind of stay up with Lilith a bit here. You don't want to run out of fuel at Pocono.
It's a long ways back to pit road if you do that. So.
Here she is. Okay, she's on pit road now, as is the 39, her teammate of Justin Horton, which wound up cycling the 07. And we've been on this battle between these two drivers all night. James Lowe in the 07, Chuck Van Skyke in the 23 here at Pocono. So interesting. So Lilith made it to 22 laps to go. So she just needs a splash at the end.
She does.
So that's the question, John, to stop one more time. Do you fuel only?
I don't know if it's going to be worth it.
Or right side, fuel and right side only?
I would go right sides and fuel over fuel only. Mainly because you will lose that time. Now, I mean, I'll have to look at some of the back end of this data once it happens, but looking at the lap times, they have been very much bad on the back end. So I wouldn't know how I would trust those tires. I want as enough gas to get to the end, but also give me some tires as well so I can stay competitive.
Chris Worrell pitted last on lap 57. Scrolling through, Lilith pitted last on 59. Number of drivers on 59 as well, but they're towards the end of the field. You can see that the leaders have now caught up to John Ledger and the 40 of Jeff Nini. Those are lap down cars now. John Ledger is the first car one lap down. Jeff Nini is 3 laps down. All right, 19 laps to go here at Pocono. We have been green flagged since the start of this race. I'm knocking wood right now as we continue to. Really, this is a driver's track, and this is a great race to show your strategy. Looks like we're coming up to some additional lap traffic. That is the 46 of Ryan Cook that is about to go in. Christopher Howell is now on pit road.
All right, this could be it. This is the final stop.
As is Sammy Harrell.
That means they're going to be very close on gas. They are banking that this race will go all the way to the end without any
right sides
outside of a green flag.
I see Ty Bostic on pit road. So he took fuel and right side only.
All right, here we see some other guys down pit road.
All right. So far the strategy appears to be fuel and right side only. That was a 9.6 second stop for Sammy Harrell. Same 9.67 for Ty Bostic. But when you look at Christopher Howell, 10.03, all just around 10 seconds or less. But somehow in all of that, Christopher Howell remained on the lead lap.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 07 sideways out of turn 1. Here comes the outside. They're going to be battling down here.
"16 laps to go. And we've already seen a number of short pits. Our leaders have not come down pit road.
Here comes Chuck. On point. All right, what is he gonna do? Right sides.
Oh, he went
Oh,
four
on
tire.
left sides. Wow. He wants the grip. 15.17 seconds out of pit road.
So that's bold. We most other drivers only took one side, so we'll see how that plays out. We're watching the 07 of James Lowe. He's got his partner, although there's a good gap between them. He is currently running in second. That's Chris Burrell. My guess is Chris Burrell does not need to stop right away, but he may do that with his teammate. We'll see. Laps to go. So from the driver's perspective, let's stay along here with, here we go. This is James Lowe coming in for his pit stop. Chris Burrell did not follow his teammate.
All right, this is going to be, I want to say I've seen these guys go right sides only before. So I want to see if James Lowe actually does that. There are the right sides up on the car. Right sides have been changed. Will the left sides go up? Nope, there he goes, off and away. 10.15 exactly ahead, or faster rather, than Chuck Van Scoyk's time.
We'll see just where that places James Lowe, but I think he's going to come out in 7th. And Chuck is in 10th. Now, a number of those drivers that are up there in front are going to have to stop as well, so I think this will all shake out. But that 5-second delta, that's pretty huge.
Pretty significant.
Coming up to pretty much at around 8 laps is to go is where the rest of the field will be out of fuel.
And looking at the guys who still need to come down pit road, Zach Ward, Chris Farrell, Mike Slatker, Chad Jones, Jeff Narin, Rodney Uberpacker.
Currently, Zach Ward is shown as your leader. Mike Slachter, Aaron Jackson now on pit road.
Yep. Zach Ward's been, very close to winning a race, so we'll see how this strategy plays out for him. Up 13 spots on the day, making a splash here late. Was moving all the way up through the field as of late.
15 cars currently on the lead lap. Chris Worrell is now up to second. Again, as we indicated, there's a number of cars that have yet to make their up. Chad Jones is now on pit road with just 10 laps to go. I think here's where we'll see the majority of cars coming in down at any time. It's like Bobby Gibson's may have a connection issue. He's flashing in and out. All right, we're going to have one more commercial to run. It will be side by side. Don't go away. We will be right back for the exciting conclusion of the Pocono 200.
Hi, America. Mark Castro, President of Tech4Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series Pocono 200 here at Pocono Raceway. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Network. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-broadcaster, John DeRudris, bringing you the Tech4Troops Cup Series each and every Wednesday night. We appreciate those of you who have tuned in live and those of you who may watch this later on a recorded stream. We thank you for doing that. And if you haven't done it already, please click the follow button and follow along and get updated. We've got this series each Wednesday night, and on Thursday nights we bring you the NASCAR Racing Series. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We'll be at Talladega, I think, tomorrow night, John.
We will. Yes. Yes, we will. That is going to be a wild race here in the INRS series.
All right, Zach Ward, who is our current leader, is now making his way down into his pit for his last pit with just 7 laps to go. A number of other drivers are out there. I don't know if you can stretch it. I don't think you can, but I've been wrong before, so. That was fuel only.
Wow. All right. I mean,
that's going for it.
It's bold. It's bold with 7 to go. How is it gonna work out for that 7 car?
Fuel only.
Yep.
Well, this is that time. There's 7 laps to go. If you're gonna gamble, now is the time to do it because, second place is first loser.
Correct. Second place is first loser. That is darn right here with now 6 laps to go. in the Tech4Troops Cup Series race at Pocono.
Amongst the leaders who have not pitted yet, current leader Chris Worrell. Rodney Uberpacker up to fourth. He's up 21 spots and sitting in fourth, but he has yet to pit. Lilith Peters, who pitted last on lap 59, currently in fourth. She's got fifth. She's got a pit. Christoph Hall, he's now headed in.
Yep. Chris Worrell is now just hoping for a caution.
I think
hoping.
The interesting thing here, John, is Christopher Howell and Sammy Harrell last pitted on lap 62.
Yeah, that's pretty close. And also, Chris Worrell, he is saving gas like crazy right now. With 5 laps to go, I'm not saying he has a chance, but I'm slightly saying he has a chance.
Let's go on board.
Yeah, he is backing out like crazy. Look at that coasting there in 1 and 2, or in 1.
So keep an eye on, folks. Watch the RPM gauge as he enters this corner. I think he shuts off the car.
He does. The gap has closed a full second since turn 1. So here he goes, shuts off the car.
Pops the clutch.
Back
keeps
on
going.
there. And that gap is now under 10 seconds with 5 laps to go, approaching 4 laps to go over James Lowe, who will overtake him if he gets to the back bumper of him. Here we go, now 9 seconds back. He's got to gain about 2 seconds a lap at this pace.
But at
Can
this point,
Christopher Worrell,
do you give it up?
he saved that much gas.
I don't know if he can.
I mean, you got to save 20. You got to save 4 laps. That's a lot. Gap is now down to 8.5 and closing. Oh, now it's going up. Back down it goes. That gap is shrinking by the second. Can Chris Worrell save enough gas to win this race? Hey, if you win by half a second, you win by half a second.
That's right.
A win is a win.
So he's trying to do it on 3 stops. As is, I'm guessing, Lilith Peters. Let's go and see.
Now, she has a little bit more of a chance.
Is she doing the same thing, though, John? We're on board with Lilith?
She's definitely clutching in right there.
Yeah, she's not turning off the engine, but she's clutching in. She's not going to get the same fuel savings as Chris Worrell. Because you saw those RPMs drop around 1900, whereas he shut off the engine, it drops to 300.
Yep. All right. Now the gap is down to 4 seconds with 3 laps to go. You can see it. He can see it there. James Lowe. He can see that 06, his teammate. 3 seconds is the gap. And just as I say that, it goes down to 2.5. And he has to come down pit road. Chris Worrell making his way down pit road. Heartbreak for the 06, which is going to put James Lowe to the point.
With the
now with just 2 to go.
Of Chuck Van Scoik on his tail, just separated by a couple seconds with just 2 laps to go.
And Lilith Peters has now moved her way into that 3rd spot. Can she save enough fuel to get to the end of this and possibly squeak it out?
She's got a couple seconds ahead of Zach Ward, who's trying to close fast. She's trying to save fuel. I don't know. We'll see.
With 2 laps, it's 5 miles you got to save. A lot of fuel saving you got to do.
Unfortunately, that through the 06 of Chris Worrell, he's currently back in 13th. It was a gamble. It did not pay off.
It was a gamble. White flag in the air for the 07 of James Lowe. And he has put on a clinic here tonight at Pocono, trying to get around some lap cars. There's Chuck Van Scoyk, now 1.3 seconds back. Lilith Peters trying to stretch this out. Has a 1 second gap over Zach Ward. That's a battle that you don't want to miss coming to the end. There are 12 seconds back. But at the line, Rick, we have James Lowe, who is going to get at Pocono. Chuck Van Scoyk in second. And out of turn 4, I think Lilith is going to do it on fuel savings. Gets P3.
On 3 stops.
It can be done.
She played it. Absolutely. All right, we're still waiting for our official race results to come in.
Guess what? We went an entire race without a caution.
That is a fabulous race to run.
That's got to be a first, right?
For this season, yes. My memory is not that good about prior seasons.
Same.
All right,
Me as well.
Results are in.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see what this finishing order is going to look like tonight here for the Tech4Troops Cup Series at Pocono. James Lowe gets the win here by 1.5 seconds over Chuck Van Scoyk. Lilith Peters finishes in third with Nathan Harper in fourth, Zach Ward in fifth, Christopher Howell in sixth, Sammy Harrell in seventh, Mike Slatker in eighth, Aaron Jackson in ninth, and Jeff Nairn in 10th.
In 11th, Chad Jones. 12th, Christopher Worrell. Ryan Pittman in 13th. Rodney Uberpacker in 14th. Maurice Burnett in 15th. Christoph Hall in 16th. And Ty Bostic in 17th. In 18th, you've got Justin Horton. 19th, Ryan Cook. And Jeremy Flanagan in 20th.
In 21st, Brian Johnson. 22nd, Harley Barletta. Bobby Gibson in 23rd. Cody Sturgill in 24th. David Watts in 25th. Philip Vandertwick in 26th. Jeff Nee in 27th. John Ledger 28th. Marco Berube 29th. Luke Bullard 30th. And William Mann Jr. in 31st.
All right, let's leave up the rest of those results. And yes, we do. Let's bring in Lilith Peters into the broadcast booth. Lilith, you win the award for the best amount of pit strategy and fuel savings.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hello.
Congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you.
Yeah, we went on board a bit trying to just figure out what you were doing, and clearly we saw you working hard to save fuel. This was one of those races we went without a caution, so all green flag stops. Give us a little bit about your thoughts going into this. Do you go back in for fuel, or do you just pedal around?
Well, I think if I'd have done the race over, I'd have just tried to do what everyone else did, because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I thought I could save more, but it worked out in the end.
Well, it certainly paid off for sure. You started this race in ninth and finished in third. That's a great finish.
Thanks. I don't know how entertaining it was, no cautions, but I finally enjoyed a no caution race for once.
I had a great time. Believe me, I'll tell you, as a broadcaster, having if I had to call a race with no cautions versus one with, John, what was the last one? 27, 26?
27.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll take the caution-free event. So, absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
Well, any shout-outs tonight, Lilith?
Yes. Grats James on the win, Charles on second, and my sponsor, Luna Steaksauce. You can get that at foxfirefoods.com. And thanks to my teammates, Jeremy and Nathan. And thanks for broadcasting.
You got it. All right, congratulations. That's Lilith Peters finishing in third place. And we're going to welcome Chuck Van Scoik to the broadcast booth. Let's see if we can get him in here.
Too, man.
Chuck, welcome to the broadcast booth. Congratulations. Man, that was hard fought.
Yeah, kind of shooting myself in the foot. I didn't know what my strategy was going to be. I let him go a couple times to take the lead so I can try to save gas. I should have just went balls to the wall and just pulled away instead of toying around with it, and then I wasn't paying attention. I took 4, and that cost me the race. So
Yeah, we saw that up in the booth here. We've been tracking most of the drivers down who took just right sides, and it was a little surprising that you took 4, but hey, it happens. So
yeah, just not any disrespect to the lead, but I mean for us to run no cautions, I don't think anyone, even the admins, Elliot, you guys would think at Pocono, with side drafting and everything else, we'd have no cautions. That's why my strategy changed like 7 times during the race, and I should have just floored it. And I mean, I was consistently running. My fall off wasn't as much as everyone else, and I should have just put the pedal down and just looked and just went. Instead, I don't know, did first run and went in. Second run, I let them go by and started clutching through the tunnel turn and clutching into 3. And getting 20 laps, but then I realized I'm 2 laps short, and I didn't feel like doing that, so then I went, and then I decided to short pit, and then I forgot to set, because once I took the lead back, I decided to short pit, but I forgot to give my command to do right sides only, and got in there, and once the right side dropped, I'm hitting the gas, and my engine just went up, because I wasn't going nowhere.
Oh gosh. Well, fully understand. It was thoroughly entertaining to watch the battle you had with James Lowe throughout the entire race. So congratulations on that. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the league, to you guys, to Elliot for putting up with all this nonsense and can't say the word on a broadcast, but all the nonsense and the F word, but yeah, you guys for broadcasting. My kid and friends and stuff turn in and watch, so they always compliment you guys. My teammates, ramble them off. Aaron, Ryan, DJ, Christoph, Maurice, Sammy. If I'm missing someone, I'm sure I'll get yelled at. And keep an eye out at goatracing.com on the Facebook page, and on my website I'll be releasing new promo codes tonight. Support any of the drivers. It's pretty simple. If you're watching, whatever their car number is, it's Goat Racing and that number, and you'll get a discount off entire orders. But after the start of the season, it's good to be a points day, and no one wants me in the playoffs because gave away last year. So I'm going to do everything I can to be at every single race and get the trophy this year.
You got it. All right, that's your second place finisher, Mr. Chuck Van Scoik. Congratulations on your second place finish. And we welcome Mr. James Lowe to the broadcast booth. James, congratulations on your win.
Hey, Rick, I appreciate it, man.
So give us a little bit of this. Obviously was strategy, and you were locked in a battle for pretty much the entire race between you and Chuck. Just a great finish. What were your thoughts going into that last round of pit stops?
Honestly, just not to screw it up. I've had a history of that here lately, so I was just trying not to screw it up, and I was going to take 2 the whole time, so that was my game plan. Thought about just taking fuel, but I came to my senses and took 2, so that kind of worked out, and I guess Chuck took 4 tires on that stop, so I was able to get a little bit of lead there.
Yeah, there was like a 5-second gap between you two at that point.
Yeah, and at that point I was just kind of riding, because I knew he was going to have to push it really hard to catch up to me. So I was just kind of rolling along, and then that last lap, the last thing you want to see is 2 cars side by side racing each other, and I found it. So luckily there wasn't a big problem, and we got around that and brought it home.
Well, congratulations on that finish. Certainly that will help you in the points as we are super close to our playoffs. We have got next week. John, I'm just trying to bring the schedule up for next week.
We should have 2 more races to go before we get to the playoffs, and that's Dover and Talladega.
All right. So, yeah, this was our 10th race of this season 4. And what do you think about Dover? What's your thoughts there, James?
I love Dover. It's one of my favorite tracks on here, so hopefully we'll have some good pace there. Pocono actually is one of the tracks I hate the most, so I'm actually kind of shocked by my result tonight. I don't particularly like this place.
I think you could move it to I like this track.
Yeah, I should, but I still don't. It's I don't know. It's so long, and
it is.
Luckily, we didn't have any cautions tonight, because when you have cautions in these races, oh man, it feels awful. But
yeah, it's like pacing at Talladega.
Yeah, but luckily it worked out, so I like it for this week anyway.
You got it. All right. Well, there's your winner, James Lowe. James, any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, I see my Aunt Mary Alice in the chat. I'd like to say hey to her, and hope I did her proud. Chris, I really thought he was going to be able to pull it out there with saving fuel, but he was just a little bit short. But I mean, he ran a good race trying to get all that strategy worked out. Tech4Troops, Chuck and Lilith on their podium finishes. You guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to watch it back. You guys always do a great job. And Elliot for running the league and let me come run with him.
You got it. All right, there's your winner of tonight's Pocono 200, James Lowe, here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We thank you all for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of this fabulous event. We'll see you next week, and we will be at Dover, the Monster Mile. John, thoughts?
I love the race tonight. Congrats to James, Chuck, and Lilith on the podium. Congrats to all the drivers for a caution-free race. Dover, it's a great race to watch. So if you're still tuned in or watching this on the replay, definitely tune in next week when we go to the Monster Mile. That'll be on the 24th. That'll be 2 races before the playoffs. So your driver might get himself locked in. We have quite a few locked in now, so make sure to tune in next week.
All right, folks, that's it for tonight. And again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. Good night.